welcome back to my weed playlist. This is part 2 on why you can't quit weed. I'm going to list a few possible reasons and go over a couple of things as to why it's challenging and why I feel it was challenging for me. So some of the things I will be discussing in this video will be the culture, how that's related, our environments, TV, music, our environments, whether you are employed or not, and just really at the root of all addiction, the emotional problems connected to said addiction, whether it be to weed or even coffee. I actually got over my coffee addiction last year with a water fast, and so now I enjoy it, whenever I can. But I have taken a few notes, but I will just primarily be talking from personal experience, firsthand experience, and so I'm gonna get right into it. Number one, addiction itself is a program. So when I say it's a program, when I bring up TV, music, and the entertainment that we watch, I mean, when you listen to certain songs, it's all you hear. Very literally. I mean, certain rap songs and even a lot of Rasta music, a lot of reggae music, that's just the culture. You know what I mean? And I love reggae music and Rastafarian culture and just all of that. It's so delicious, right? And then when you look at TV, certain movies or music videos, it's everywhere. So you're sort of saturated in this culture, and then weed has its own separate culture, right? Like I remember going to a Denver conference a few years ago. I can't remember the name of it, but the conference was basically surrounding the medical use of marijuana and how it helps people. And I became an ambassador. So I just wanted to mention that I was actually an ambassador for marijuana for a long time and was a part of different groups that was trying to, this was when I was living in California. I was a part of a few different groups that was trying to actually help more people of color get marijuana legalized and all of this. So I was an ambassador for marijuana for a long time. It helped me, like I mentioned in my last video, with my kidney situation. It very literally kept me out of jail. I'm laughing, but y'all, like, your girl used to be a live wire, okay? Anger issues. So it helped me with that, and I remember it also helping me out of one of the most extreme, like, painful situations, top 3 painful situations of my life. I remember, if you can imagine, I know some of you have all these plants. I'm like in a jungle in my apartment right now. I want more plants. But anyway, if you can imagine, one of your top, deepest emotional pains that you've ever been through, psychiatric medication is usually given for those types of situations. But at the time when this happened to me, it was an extreme situation where, like, cops came and, like, busted in the door, and, like, it was just, I was really, there was, like, some police brutality. It was just really horrible. And so I remember that day having this horrible chest pain, like, when you feel really sad and you have that pain right here, it just doesn't go away. It's like extreme. There was a strain of marijuana that I used that literally numbed all of that pain away. And so, like I said, it was better than a lot of the psychiatric medication I used to take, which basically removed my entire personality from my being. All of my creativity, I just felt like an empty vessel. You know, so at that time I thought, well, you know what, this is better than going to take that. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I just want to begin this video with just my history with marijuana and how it's helped me. It's helped my insomnia at one point. This was years ago. I have severe insomnia, not anymore, but I'm a highly sensitive person. And so getting to sleep used to be just, I could hear stuff 50 miles away. I mean, like, I would hear a pin drop across the street and it would be like, I can't go to sleep. You know what I mean? It's a bit ridiculous. And my parents said that I was like that from a kid. So that I was extremely sensitive and just would hear things from, it was just rough. So now I use earplugs and, you know, sound machines. But being a highly sensitive person, this is what most people who are drug addicts in any form are trying to numb. They're trying to numb that high, I mean, it's like an intense sensitivity to everything. It kind of tones it down, you know what I mean? But over time, once it turns into an addiction, it's starting to actually harm you. And so, you know, I say all of that, like I said, to just, you know, let you guys know that I'm not here to demonize anything. I'm just trying to bring awareness to what's presently going on in 2019 as of February, primarily March, when I started getting these visions. And what, you know, we need to start doing and thinking about how we engage with this now highly chemicalized and artificial weapon that is being unleashed onto the masses. You know what I mean? So I want to start with part of the reason why it's hard for people to stop is because of all the aforementioned things, all the things I previously said. You know, you have an emotional attachment to this thing that has helped you significantly, possibly at one point. This is not everybody's story, but this is my story, and I'm sure it's a lot of people's story. It has helped you significantly get through some pretty tough things, and so it becomes a part of your identity. You know, so I go into all of that, how it hijacks all three tiers of your happiness, which is your survival, your identity, and your spirituality. So now that I'm talking about the identity part of that, it was a part of my identity, very literally, okay? And, you know, then you start moving into how it starts affecting your actual survival. My throat gets so dry when I talk so much. It starts affecting your survival by way of affecting your finances. Now, here's the thing. If you have any kind of goals, small or big, even if it's paying your rent, okay, at the end of the month, whatever your financial goals are, having this addiction takes from that. It doesn't even matter. Like, it's very literally, like I mentioned in my last video, a black hole for your money. It's just a vortex. Just, you're literally burning your money. Like, you might as well just go like light fire to your money. The only difference is you're just getting a high, and for some people, they're not even getting high. So it's like, once you've abused something to a point of abuse, you're no longer getting what it was that you was getting when you initially started it, if that makes sense. So it's affecting your survival, your identity, and then, you know, it comes down to how it's affecting your spirituality. Everyone here has different spiritual beliefs, you know, systems that they follow. Some people have no spiritual belief system. But my whole point, right, because I don't get into labels either. I like to stay at baseline so that people can just get the point, right? You can use whatever words you want to use. I'm okay with that. I'm not here to tell anybody they need to pray to whoever or have a religion or anything. I'm talking about the spiritual aspects of your being, your soul, and how having this addiction affects that. And I will always make reference to addiction in general because, you know, I will in future videos go into that. But addiction is like a soul sickness. It literally, if you want to imagine us having a force field around us, our auras, you know, the energy that we emit to other people, what other people pick up from us. It's like these holes being poked in your aura. And the reason why that's so dangerous is because that allows for any form of lower vibrational entities, spirits, demons, you can call it whatever you want, again, okay, to infiltrate you. This is part of the reason of the relapse. You know what I mean? Your shield is now down from all of these lower entities looking for a host body. Okay, so like just really think about that. And whether you believe in demons, whether you believe in whatever, your shield is down and weakened to a lot. This is why if you stop one addiction, you're doing something else, because that door is open. There's no protection. You have to heal that and close that up. You know, I'll go into a few ways a person can do that. If not in this video, it'll be in a separate video where I discuss solutions only. It will always depend on the length of these videos because just upload issues with time. So what else did I cover? So the emotional struggles. People have a hard time letting go of weed also because of the deep-seated emotional pain, which is so visceral. And anybody who has ever had anything like PTSD, severe anxiety, depression, trauma, which is connected to anger, being an HSP, a highly sensitive person, all of these things, you know, and even having an oral fixation. I really want to get into that because that's important. It's important because, see, I have an oral fixation. I'm not sure if I still have it or not, or if it's totally gone, but I'll explain. So the easiest way for me to explain what an oral fixation is like, let's say you are a smoker, right? And I've come across people that have said that they've smoked paper, like actual, like paper. Okay? I'm not judging. I'm just like, what? People are, let me tell you, that's an example of just, you just need to smoke something. Like, you just need to have something in your mouth. Like, if it's not that, if you stop smoking, now you're snacking too much, you're eating too much, or now you have a food addiction. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Or you're biting your nails now 24/7. It's like you have to constantly have stimulation orally. Okay, I know that sounds... Oh, when I first heard that term, I was just like, wow, okay. But I bring that up because it's like, it's so important for you to assess the root, right? Like, this is self-awareness. This is constant self-analysis. And like I said, I will have solutions and activities and things that you can do to help you laser in on that self-awareness of how you get to the root of something. And these are only suggestions, okay? Like, these are only suggestions. So being aware of the fact that I possibly had an oral fixation, not only that, I began grinding my teeth a lot. And I knew that started when I was in this relationship that was just highly toxic. And, you know, it's funny because my addiction, I believe, actually started when I went to California, where it's legal. for several reasons, right? You can become very lost in, you know, like all these different kinds. It was like you're a kid in a candy store. You're like, wow, you go inside these dispensaries and it's just like, oh my God, it's like, wow, right? You're seeing all these different kinds. They have candy, they have cakes. It's pure gluttony, okay? They're giving you free weed. Like, you go into these clubs, you're allowed to smoke in the clubs. Like, I mean, it's very literally everywhere. People share it with you on the street. I mean, it's normal. This is normal life. Okay, like, this is important. Like, if you're in a culture or state where it's normal life, you got to realize that you're going to have to you are going to have to elevate yourself above your surroundings. It's more difficult, but not impossible. But you need to become aware that your environment is very literally, you know, normalizing this. And so the people, places, and things, you know, quotes that all people say with addicts and addiction, that's very real, because these triggers, see, it's deeper. See, what I realize is, like, the reason why at the base root, why people, places, and things is important for you to at some point remove yourself, even for a little bit of time, because this is what rehab is for. This is where rehab is actually where it's helpful, but I don't feel like it covers the whole spectrum of everything I'm going to be discussing on my playlist. Is that you have to remove yourself from the environment, from seeing it, smelling it, seeing anybody else do it, because your brain has to do this rewiring process, right? So even if you go to rehab, right, and you're there for 30 days, if you haven't addressed, again, the root, you're susceptible to relapsing. You know what I mean? Like, if you haven't addressed if you have an oral fixation or not, if you haven't addressed all these other emotional issues that you possibly could have, which can take a long time. Like I mentioned in my last video, I didn't come to this full self-awareness. It took a while. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like a part of this also, you know, this is where the video will end. I'll try to keep all of these videos 20 minutes or less. Is that if you don't have a life purpose, that this is tying into your spirituality. The reason why I feel like this is the most important part and what was the most important key for me in closing that relapse gate was asking myself, what do I want more than I want this plant? Like, what is it that I want more? It takes a while. You really have to go deep. You know what I'm saying? But if you put in the work and if you're honest with yourself, it may take a while. Like I said, everybody's different. Be gentle with yourself. You know, the guilt and all of that, you know, how you feel about your addiction, like you need to know it's going to stop when it's supposed to stop. If you're doing the work and if you're, you know, doing the visualizations and asking yourself again, how do I see myself in a year? How do I want to see myself? What do I really want here? And how is this addiction hampering that? So once you realize that, okay, no, this addiction is hampering me getting to this thing that I want more than anything, oh, the door will close. Trust me. Okay. Like I said, you have to really go deep, and it will still take a while for some people, even once you figure that out, because you're ejecting a program. When you delete an app off your phone, you still got to go delete the data, the cookies, like... There's levels of deletion, okay? This is what the relapse is. You know what I mean? people haven't done the full identity, spiritual, emotional, you know, circle of analysis with self to see where is the root of all of this. And so I hope this video brought some clarity. Part 3 actually will be uploaded tomorrow. Right now I have about 4 or 5 videos, and yeah, so stay tuned, and please let me know if I missed anything, because I really I know this is not easy. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not easy, and if I can do anything to help someone get over just this hump, or even just gain a little bit of clarity as to why they're going through what they're going through, because pain is at the root of all of this, and no one should expect anybody to go through extreme severe pain here without help, whether it's psychiatric medication, drugs, alcohol. Like, all these things have a purpose here until they don't serve you any more purpose. Marijuana had a purpose in my life until it didn't have a purpose anymore. You see what I'm saying? So just be kind with yourself, give yourself self-love, and apologize to your body, you know? Get rid of the guilt, because that really is going to hamper everything. I know it's not easy, but you all take care and be well, and stay tuned for more. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when I upload the rest of these videos. Later.